So I used to let social anxiety control my life. I wouldn't really speak up or interact with that many people. And I found one way to break this. So I'm going to tell you my story first, and then I'll tell you the step you can take. So I've always been a shy kid, right? Interactions beside my close friends and family didn't really happen that much. And if they did, they were often initiated by the other party, and I felt anxious and nervous. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a shop that I used to go with my friend, and they served like a chicken roll, which is basically just a baguette, some chicken, some lettuce, and you can choose what they put on the sandwich itself. And like social anxiety always prevented me from ordering it, and it didn't help the fact that the person, taking my order had a bit of a strong accent, and they used like little masks as well, probably for, hygienic purposes and such. And I the one time that I ordered, I was asking for what to get, and then she kept asking questions like, "Oh, would you like this? Would you like that?" And I couldn't understand, so I was like, "Oh, no." And she said, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah." And then I wasn't like confident. I wasn't listening to what she was saying, and the anxiety from the social anxiety prevented me from actually, being present and paying attention to it. So, since I was always nervous, my friend would always order for me and him. And this seems like something that's innocent, but it's this type of fear of, embarrassment and failure that really prevents people, and especially prevented me, from attempting many things in life, and many that I do regret. And I don't want that for you. And I don't even need to mention presentations or speaking with strangers, initiating conversations. Obviously, that's very anxiety inducing when I have social anxiety. But even though I still have it, I found a way to diminish it a lot. And I'm going to tell you what I did. So the one thing that I did that helped me quite a lot was creating this channel, a YouTube channel. And why? Well, in my opinion, what caused the most change was creating this channel, and therefore being open to criticism and even humiliation and failure. I'm making these videos, I'm possibly speaking to, hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of people. Just depends on how many people watch this, but I'm exposing myself to a lot of people, and I'm sharing my thoughts. And by sharing my thoughts and by speaking my mind, I'm being open and vulnerable, and potentially putting myself in a situation when people may criticize my viewpoints. And I think that's certainly, if not most, that's certainly part of social anxiety. Being afraid of being seen in a certain way by other people. Being afraid of opening up and sharing your views. Being afraid that you'll be seen as a failure or an outcast for such things. So creating this channel helped me massively with that. I'm much more confident and comfortable with not just sharing my ideas, but people not agreeing with it. We're not all the same, so I've accepted that. I remember I told myself so many excuses before starting it, oh, it's not for me, or I don't want. Actually, I said this before I started the channel. I said, oh no, I don't want to start the channel because, and where I'm at right now, I don't want a lot of views. I don't want a lot of views. That's just something you press a button, you start recording, and then you get a lot of views. It's just crazy. The coping we do, and the coping I do, is just amazing. It's laughable, really. But it will be hard. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, but it's cliche, but if I can do it, you can 100% do it as well. 100%. Just don't overthink it. And I know a lot of you won't do this. A lot of people watch it, because I had people tell me this, YouTubers, and I didn't do it until I did it by myself. Out of my head, I wanted to do it. But if you're watching this, please do this. Grab your phone. You can even pause the video, leave the video. Grab your phone, press record, blah blah blah, speak anything, and just post. I did my first video, no script, no title, no idea what I was saying. I just pressed record and I said, hi guys, this video will be about self-improvement. And I was so terrified of it that I literally said, oh, and please be kind in the comments. I then deleted that video because I was like, oh, this is terrible. But I left it for a good while, And I had the anxiety, especially when pressing record, which is interesting. I didn't have more anxiety when posting it, but I did have more anxiety when pressing the record button and speaking, which is very interesting. And of course, I did have a little bit of anxiety once it was posted. I was afraid of receiving criticism, but you know what happened? I had 0 comments, barely any views. No one cares, literally. And what I say is, if you are afraid of starting a YouTube channel because you are afraid of being seen as a failure or being criticized, know that if you start being criticized, especially by people that matter the most to you, which would be maybe either really famous people, high level, or people close to you, then that means that your video has so much success that is reaching those types of people. And at that point, if you're criticized, who cares? Because you already made it. So I have a challenge for you. 24 hours from right now, just check what time it is. In 24 hours from right now, you need to have your first video posted on YouTube. Now, if you're watching this, your anxiety probably just has risen up like, what am I going to talk about? Doesn't matter. Any idea, you can write up an idea if you want, but you need to post a video. Random title, an idea, you won't get any views anyway, so it doesn't matter. No one's going to watch it, but you need to overcome that fear. And the worst possible scenario, you just end up where you are right now. And you're already where you are right now, so if the worst thing that can happen is you being where you are, then there's 0 risk. Best possible scenario, the video gets millions of views. Unlikely, but that's the best possible scenario. And if that happens, you change your life. So we have a situation where the worst possible scenario is you stay where you are, and the best possible scenario is to change your life forever and get your dream life. Seems like a good trade-off, don't you think? So post that video. Strive for progress, not perfection.